Good morning, gang, or good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to the Bitcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is for educational purposes only. And now that's out of the way. Now, we didn't do a YouTube video last week because nothing had changed from the week before. If you zoom back to that video, then you will see we were talking about a couple of key levels. If we were to come lower, we were talking about coming down into this 33, 34k zone, and if the local low was in and we started coming higher and flipped the yearly open, now you can see here the yearly open level down here coming in at 42.5, then we can start looking at some higher prices. Now what did we do? Quite simply, we came up, we back tested it, and we've continued higher. So we're looking for higher prices, and obviously this is where we are right now. So we're going to keep this really short and sweet and talk about the next key levels to be aware of on the chart. So I'm going to zoom out. to the 4-hour chart. Now, we've got a couple of things to pay attention to where we are right now. First and foremost, fib from the high to the current low, and we can see we are just shy of the golden pocket. Now, is this the golden pocket, the strongest of all golden pockets? Not really, in my opinion, because we don't have as much confluence here. What we do have is we have confluence higher up between the golden pocket and the 786, and we can see here that we've got the point of control for this top sticky section here. Okay, this is roughly coming in roughly around 46k for easy numbers. This is the next major sticky zone. Okay, so if, once again, this is all ifs because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. If we are to continue up into this sticky zone and we get a good reaction here, then potentially there's a short opportunity. If we continue up and we get no reaction here, then we can be looking at higher prices. Now, what do I mean by higher prices? Well, first and foremost, we need to get outside of this value area. But if we can successfully flip this value area, then quite simply, we're looking to contest the overall highs. And that's what I'll be looking for above there. Now, if we zoom out and we take a bigger picture view of this, go out to the daily, and once again, we'll do exactly the same thing as we've been doing for a few months now. Fib from the absolute high, if we can snap it on, that'll do. There, to the low, okay. So we've still got this golden pocket above us, and obviously that's what caused the reaction in the first place that ended up causing the, what was that, 20% move to the downside? Now, obviously, you've just seen within there that we've got a sticky zone around 46k, and if we start clearing that sticky zone, then realistically, we can start looking back to contesting the highs. Now, if we do contest the highs, we're still within the zone of the golden pocket. So we can't ignore that. We're still in a large sticky zone. So is it a case of if we take out this local high, that's it? It's just going straight up, new all-time highs, moon time? No, because we've still got resistance. So first and foremost, we've got to get through this whole zone. If we come up into this zone, take out the previous highs and start to reverse, then there may be a short opportunity. But once again, you want to see that sign of weakness. You don't just want to be blindly shorting if it does get up there. If it comes higher, then yes, we can start looking at higher prices. Realistically, around the 707 mark, there's not much confluence around this zone. But if we do come up a little bit higher into the 786, this is the key zone to watch, because this effectively is the last sticky zone before, realistically, contesting new highs. So once again, we've got to flip this and then flip this before we can start looking at realistically 69k. So we've still got two sticky zones, one here, one here. We cannot ignore those on the chart. Now, what happens if we start rolling over? Well, first and foremost, do we start rolling over from here into that local golden pocket, or do we start rolling over even higher? Either way, it makes no difference. So we need to look for zones on the opposite side. So zoom in once again, 4-hour chart. So realistically, if we start to lose this local structure and start to come back down below it, then first and foremost, we've got a sticky zone, and it's very local, and this is just playing within this range that we have. We're going to do range to range. I'm going to use the range fib tool. And you can see here, this is the range fib tool that we use in the group. So if we do start to lose this cluster down here, then realistically we then can start looking at contesting these lows. And that's when the 33 to 34k zone comes into play. So A, do we come down here, get a bullish reaction, start to see some signs of strength, then we've got a long trigger. If we don't see that, then we can look for lower prices. It's as simple as that. Locally, start to lose this cluster, this EQ, then we look back down towards this cluster, lose this, then we can start looking back down realistically towards 33, 34k. And it's as simple as that. We're just playing in a very level to level environment right now. Until we start to break out of this whole consolidation right here, and start to either A, take the highs and continue, or B, take the lows and continue. There's no rush. There's no major bias, okay? All we know is that we have come into a very high time frame golden pocket. So it's a very big sticky zone. So if we are going to break through here, it's likely not going to happen on the first attempt. It might not even happen on the second attempt, but we've got to keep an eye on the charts, okay? Obviously, if you guys want access to my real-time updates, including our daily trading plans, then first and foremost, come over to our website, spitfiretraders.com. Link is down in the description. Access to our free Discord is here. And obviously, if you do want to join us and get access to all the educational material that we have, then come on the Join Us tab. Within this, you'll get access to things like this morning's daily trading plan, where I've talked through not only my trading plan on Bitcoin, but I've talked through the NASDAQ, the S&P, and a handful of altcoins as well, because they're all at very interesting places. And obviously, on top of that, then you get access, obviously, to the whole library of education material. So therefore, you don't need people like me. You don't need to join signals groups. You can learn how to trade by yourself, and that's the whole idea about it. Okay? So, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And obviously, if you've enjoyed today's content, don't forget to hit that like button. And until next time, gang, as you were.